Hey guys, it's Joe Vizio here. It's been a couple months since I've done this, man. And I tell you what's more, I haven't really been watching any videos. I just kind of stepped away from all of this, really. Just kind of went and decided to take a little break and kind of just soak in everything that's happened. Most of you that have followed me, you know the story, you know what's been happening, and you also know that 2 months ago things was a mess. So I don't I haven't gone back and recapped on any videos or anything like that, so I don't remember everything that I said or anything like that, but I think I just want to kind of pick up where I think is appropriate. It was Sunday, the 6th of August. After a few days of what we had been going through, which was my mother slowly dying in a hospice bed in my master bedroom in my home, which is something that I swore to God and everybody I would not let happen. All I can say to that there is the kind of people that we are, we step up when we need to step up, even if it has absolutely no healthy value for ourselves. We still at times throw ourselves in front of the train for others. And this is kind of what I did. This is what my wife did. We did everything in our power to keep my daughter from witnessing as much as we could. For the most part, she spent just about that entire week over with my wife's parents. Between my wife's parents and, over at my wife's sister's house. So, on that Sunday, me and my wife, we were at our wits' end. We had the help of hospice, but hospice was not giving us a 24/7 service. They came by a couple times during the day, different people. But it was pretty much in the hands of my wife and I for her daily care, especially over the weekend, because they didn't come out. Not that they said that they won't come out. It was, give us a call if you need us. So me and my wife were pretty much feeding my mother a steady diet as they recommended of morphine and Xanax. And, that was hard. Anybody who has been in a position to see something like that, somebody living their final days with cancer. You might start to well, me and my wife started to doubt ourselves as to what we were doing, but we then understood that, you know, there was no ifs, ands, or buts. My mother was going to die. And as much as we felt like we were just keeping her drugged until the angel of death comes to collect his due, it's kind of exactly what we were doing. But my mother was going to die regardless. And without giving her that concoction, it just would have been a very slow, painful death as she did everything she could to cling on to life. Her body gave out. Her mind wasn't ready to go, but her body just had nothing left. So, you know, we had to accept that. And so by the time Sunday rolled around, I mean, we're already like 5 days of this. We were at our wits' end. So we recruited the help of my wife's parents to just come and babysit for us. Just to come sit at the house with my mother, you know, in case she dies, you know, she's just not sitting there dead. I don't know. But we just needed them to come over and sit with us, and we needed to get the hell out of there. And that we did. I honestly, right now, I can't remember where exactly we went. I know we got something to eat. We may have done a little bit of window shopping, but just kind of, you know, we went to the Goodwill just to kind of get some normal. We needed some normal. So that's what we did. And we returned home later on in the evening. And we relieved my wife's parents of their duties. And gave my mother another shot of her medicine, because that was the time that we were supposed to do it. And, you know, my wife and I, we just kind of, we were there, but we weren't there. I think we were drinking a glass of wine to kind of calm our nerves a bit, and, you know, we got this little arcade machine that plays a classic arcade game, so we were out on the porch and playing some arcades and just kind of laughing and just being normal. So it was coming up on 2:30. And, you know, we decided, you know, we better get to bed. And I told my wife, you know, I need to go in there and, you know, make sure that my mother has her morphine Xanax cocktail. And that's exactly what I said, was morphine Xanax cocktail. Fucking people. And, you know, we were making fun. We were just being normal people. And I was telling my wife, yeah, we got to give her that cocktail, because if not, when I go in there in the morning, my mother will be half conscious and like a zombie reaching for me. And, you know, we were just trying to make each other laugh. And, I got her syringe ready, and we were coming up to the door, and of course we're pushing each other. You go first. No, I don't want to go first. You go first. And I opened up that door, and as much as I would have thought maybe the previous 5 days would have prepared me, and the previous 3 months would have prepared me, and I was not prepared to see my mother's body laying there not breathing. We were both in a bit of shock that she had finally passed. She was laying there probably as peacefully as I have ever seen that woman sleeping, but she wasn't sleeping. So, we had called the hospice so they can come out and give her official pronouncing of death. And that's what happened. We felt kind of bad because, here we were sitting there making fun. But it wasn't making fun to be mean. It was making fun because we were just trying to get our own sanity back. That one last hurrah, my mother put us through hell. I'm sure she went through her own hell. The hospice tells us, they give people that type of a concoction because when you are in that position, you're dying of cancer, and in my mother's case, the cancer is just eating her insides, and they were eaten to the point that was putting her in that much pain. They give that because when people know that they're dying, and they're dying in a painful manner like that, they try harder to cling, they fight, they resist, they're so tense, and the morphine takes the pain away and the Xanax relaxes them so that death can come peacefully. Whatever that's supposed to mean. So I can't tell you what my mother was going through. But for my wife and I, and my mother, we shared the end. I want to say that, when I went in and I touched her, she was still warm. So I predicted that she had died probably within the previous 30 minutes. The cat was still laying at the foot of the bed, right on her feet. Did not want to budge until, the lady from hospice came in to, read any vitals, which there was no vitals. And officially pronounced her dead at 3 a.m. on August the 7th. So, I guess I wanted to say that just to kind of close off that chapter, because I kind of left you hanging for the past 2 months. But I have to say it was a very, very mentally productive 2 months. I have learned so much. I have, and I want to try and share as much as I can with you. Probably not in this video because, this is already at that magic 15-minute mark that I guess YouTube says is, somebody's attention span. I don't mean that, but sometimes if a person doesn't captivate you within the first 15 minutes, you turn it off. But anyway, my daughter, on Sunday night into Monday morning, the 6th going into the 7th, my daughter absolutely demanded that she wanted to stay in our house because she wanted to be there when the angels came to take her Tita. So we allowed it. We allowed her to stay. And we kept her asleep while hospice came in, and even when the crematorium people came to collect her body, my daughter was asleep, so she didn't see any of that. I witnessed everything from beginning to end. Like, I felt like it was just my duty. I hear that old guy's voice, the guy that used to play Herman Munster when he was in that movie Pet Sematary. You bury your own. I just kind of felt like I had to witness everything that they did, from bagging her up, putting her on the gurney, wheeling her out into the van, until I seen those van's taillights out of my sight. I watched the entire thing. I just had to. And the next day, me and my wife were sitting out. Excuse me. Mind you, I don't think that we had any sleep at all. But we were sitting out on the porch. We were drinking coffee and just really trying to collect ourselves. And here's my daughter, and she's standing there at the glass door that leads out onto the porch, and she's got this look on her face. She says, "Where's my Tita?" This child jumped up right out of bed, never even looked at us, and went right into her grandmother's room to see that her grandmother wasn't there. So, we had to explain again what happened. We didn't have to explain. She knew what was going to happen, but we had to let her know that yes, it did happen. And before I close this out, I just kind of want to bring you guys back to a video I made. It was called The Forgiveness Train. And I was talking about a dream that I had, that my mother had died. And I felt like that I just, for her sake, I needed to tell her that I forgave her. And I knew she was dead, but I was looking in my cell phone to find her number so that I can send her phone a text message that said, "I forgive you." And I couldn't find her number in that phone. And for me, I have my issues here and there with the whole premonition thing and all that, but I do have to kind of step back on myself and say, you know, guys, you want to listen. You want to listen to that voice. You want to listen to that thing in your head that is telling you something. Don't bet the farm on it, but keep an eye on it, because sometimes, as unexplained as it might be, something somewhere, somehow, even if it is just our subconscious, is telling us something. And Mayan was telling me, shit or get off the pot. You're going to forgive her, because she don't have much time. And I think according to the date that video was published, it was about 7 days later, my mother was dead. My daughter is as scared as she was as to what was going to happen, because although she wasn't very exposed to it, she still knew that it was going to happen. And on that day was the day that she wanted to make sure that she stayed at home so she can be here when the angels took her grandmother. So my daughter was listening. And to close this out once and for all, I just want to say that if you remember the story that I told of watching my father's girlfriend's grandmother die from cancer. I mean, not that I had to witness that part, but the part about her laying in the room with no hair, on a mattress on the floor, listening to the Bible on video cassette. There I was in my master bedroom with my mother laying in a hospice bed and me playing a YouTube version of the Bible at her request. So, guys, I'm going to make another video real soon, because there's some more things that I want to talk about. You know, I did some tracing into my family roots, because I wanted to find out where did I come from. And I'll tell you all about that. And also, my mom's brother, my Uncle Thomas, has kind of stepped up, and you know, we've been talking a lot. He actually came down and spent some time with me. So I'll tell you all about that in another video. But guys, thank you for letting me get this out, and you know, I'm back for a little bit. Thanks.